Yeah, hi there. These comments, I'm going to just use your initials DS, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. You're also one of my students in the English language program here at California State University, San Bernardino. And what I want to do right now is to listen to your integrated speaking practice test that you completed. Okay, here we go.
The narrator of the video points out the events occurred on April 14 of 1912 during Titanic's last day before sinking. First, he mentions the different activities done by the passengers.
Now wait a minute. Now you don't have to go through all of what is happening in the lecture, but you have to focus on those events which are most important, which caused the ship to sink. That's where your focus is.
As well as a member of the crew. Next, he expresses important activities that could have prevented this fatal accident.
Okay.
For instance, pay attention to the ice warnings sent by the Californian.
Here, you see, for example, the crew members and the captain not pay attention, but say should have paid attention to, which means that they did not. So you're talking about an unreal condition in the past. So you're having some language use issues as you're saying that. Another
ship that was sailing nearby.
Okay.
Finally, he describes the reaction of the crew when they saw the enormous iceberg ahead of them. Despite all efforts, they couldn't do anything about it. Titanic, once considered the unsinkable ship, was having its last voyage.
That's exactly right. Now, we got some problems here, I'll be honest with you. There are several important events which I think caused this ship to sink according to the lecture, so if we go to the lecture, I'm going to point out a few ideas here. Now, you did say that they ignored the ice warnings, or they should have paid more attention to the ice warnings, which they didn't. That was important. Now, another event was this. Another important part of this was that the ocean was calm, and it was a clear night. It means that with no waves breaking at the base of the icebergs, it would be more difficult to spot them. So that was another event. A third event was the members in the crow's nest who were looking for icebergs, they had forgotten to bring their binoculars. They left the binoculars in Southampton, according to the lecture, so that made it more difficult for these crew members to spot the icebergs. That was also an important event. Now, the last idea which was important was this. This is important. The ship, according to the lecture, was traveling at 22.5 knots, so the ship was moving pretty quickly. And that would also make it more difficult to steer out of the path of any icebergs that they might see. So all those events, going too fast, not being able to spot the icebergs because of the calm sea, right, ignoring the warnings, and misplacing the binoculars, all four of those events were very important, which all caused this ship to sink. So I think it was important to mention all of those ideas. So let me give you a score now. So I think your weakness right now is you have language use issues. For example, you're having problems talking about unreal conditions in the past, right? They should have paid more attention to the ice warnings, that kind of grammar. So you have some language use issues. But the biggest issue here is your topic development. You left out several important events, several important parts of the lecture you didn't mention, and these things were important because they helped explain why the ship sank. So your score here, because you left out some of those big ideas, I'm going to put you at about 2.0 out of 4 on this practice test. This is going to give you 15 points out of 30 here. Now, what does that mean for our class? Well, if you look at our class and go to the syllabus, go to page 5, if you get a score of, I put you at about 2.0, let me take a look at the rubrics one more time here. Yeah, I'll put you at about 2.1. I'll put you 2.1 out of 4. I'm going to put you, no, yeah, I'm going to put you 17 points out of 30, so score you a little bit higher. Okay, then in the syllabus, 2.1 is going to put you at 75% on this assignment. So what does this tell me? So this tells me a couple of things, that you're having some grammar limitations, and those are preventing you from fully expressing the ideas, but also I think in terms of your listening comprehension, you're having trouble making connections with different parts of a lecture and connecting this information back to the whole or the purpose. So the purpose is what events caused the ship to sink, and you weren't really able to make all those required connections from the lecture. At least you weren't able to express those in speaking. Alright, so as you know, I have a listening section of my course. I have a good lesson. It's listening lesson number 1, which will give you some good tips on note-taking. And if you want more listening practice, I have 3 specific websites. You might want to write these down. And all 3 of these websites will give you good practice to help you improve your listening comprehension. Number 1 is National Public Radio. Number 2, TED Talks. Number 3 is an ESL website. It's called Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. So I think if you can improve, if you want more practice, you can definitely go to those 3 specific websites to get more practice. Now, in addition to that, I actually recommend that you spend some time watching TV in English, right? So I recommend news, history, documentary, and science programs. Also watching movies, believe it or not. Movies are a great way to also improve your listening comprehension, and it will also help you with your speaking and pronunciation of American English. Alright, anyway, thank you very much for completing the practice test.